to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, a quiet place where your day can soften at the edges and fade into a gentle night. Tonight you are invited on a slow, sleepy couples tour through a peaceful vineyard where lanterns glow like fireflies and the air is rich with the scent of earth and grapes. For now, there is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be, except here. Let yourself settle just as you are. Feel the surface beneath you supporting your body. Notice the weight of your limbs, the way your shoulders can loosen and drift a little heavier. Take a slow, kind breath in, filling your lungs from the bottom, letting the air rise all the way to your chest. Then exhale softly, as if you are sighing away the day. Let your jaw unclench. Let your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Let your forehead smooth and soften. As you breathe, imagine the last conversations, tasks, and worries of the day curling up like dry leaves and drifting away on a faint, friendly wind. You do not have to go with them. You can stay right here. The world can wait until morning. In your mind's eye, you begin to sense a warm evening unfolding. The sky is washed in late golden light, and you can almost feel a gentle breeze brushing past your cheeks. Somewhere ahead, there is a narrow path, soft with dust and fallen leaves, leading toward a hillside vineyard where the night will be tender and calm. If you like, let your breath fall into an easy rhythm now. A slow inhale through your nose, a quiet, unhurried exhale through your mouth. With each breath, your body becomes a little heavier, a little more relaxed. Your hands rest loosely, your legs sink into stillness. You are safe. You are cared for. You are allowed to rest. And as your body begins to unwind, the story begins. Just beyond a sleepy village, a vineyard lay on the side of a gentle hill. The vines followed the slope in soft, curving rows, like green waves frozen in the quiet of evening. At the foot of the hill, a narrow gravel lane wound between old stone walls, leading to a wooden gate and a small sign painted by hand, welcoming visitors in cursive letters that had faded under many summers of sun. That evening, a couple arrived at the vineyard. They stepped out of their car slowly, as if already knowing that nothing here would be rushed. Their names were Elena and Marco, though soon their names would fade into the hush of the night, leaving only the quiet shapes of two people moving gently through a beautiful place. Warm air wrapped around them like a shawl. It carried the scent of grapes, earth, and distant wild herbs, touched by a hint of sea salt from far away. A soft light glowed from the windows of the small stone house by the gate, and lanterns along the path winked into life As the sun slid lower behind the hills, a host emerged from the house, smiling with the calm ease of someone who belongs to the land. She greeted Elena and Marco with a quiet welcome, her voice low and smooth, as if she did not want to disturb the evening. There was no rush to sign anything, no hurry to begin. She simply offered them a moment to stand and breathe, to feel the breeze and listen to the distant chirping of crickets hidden in the grass. When they were ready, the host led them along a path that curved between olive trees and rosemary bushes. The leaves whispered peacefully, brushing together in the breeze, and the air grew cooler as the sun slipped behind the ridge. In the dimming light, the vineyard spread out before them, neat rows of vines climbing up the slope, each leaf touched with a fading trace of gold. Their tour was meant to be slow, the opposite of the hurried visits of busier days. No large groups, no clinking glasses all at once, no rushed explanations, just the two of them, moving at the pace of their own footsteps, guided by a quiet voice and the soft rhythm of nature. The host walked with them beneath the first row of vines. The soil here was warm and dusty, still holding the memory of the day's sun. Pebbles gleamed faintly, and the shadows of the leaves painted gentle patterns on the ground. Clusters of grapes hung low, their skins rich and full, ready to be harvested when the time was right. As they walked, the host spoke about the vineyard in the way one might speak of a beloved friend, how the vines were pruned in late winter, how the soil was turned in early spring, how each new leaf was welcomed as a sign of the season's promise. Her words were not a lecture, but a soft weaving of stories, threaded through with pauses that allowed silence to settle like fine dust between them. Elena reached out to touch a leaf, feeling its cool, faintly rough surface beneath her fingertips. Marco moved more slowly, watching the light shifting behind the hills, noticing how the sky blushed with shades of rose and lavender. Together, without needing to speak, they felt themselves exhale a deeper breath than they had taken all week. The path led them gently upward. Overhead, swallows traced quiet arcs in the sky, their wings catching the last light. A faint bell sounded from far away, perhaps from the village church or a wandering flock. The sound so soft and distant that it felt more like a memory than a present moment. Their host brought them to a small clearing between the rows of vines, where a wooden table waited beneath a broad old tree. The table was laid with a simple linen cloth, smooth and pale. There were 2 glasses already set out, as if the evening had been expecting them. A glass bottle of water stood next to a carafe of pale wine, its color delicate as peach skin. In the twilight, they sat side by side on a long bench, the wood pleasantly cool through the fabric of their clothes. When they leaned back, they could see the entire vineyard stretching away, the vines becoming deeper and more mysterious. As the light faded, fireflies began to appear between the rows, tiny moving stars that flickered and vanished among the leaves. The host poured just a little wine into each glass, no more than a gentle taste. She invited them to lift their glasses and breathe in the scent before they sipped. The aroma was soft and layered, sun-warmed fruit, the faint tang of citrus, a whisper of wildflowers from the hillside. They tasted it slowly, letting the wine rest on their tongues, noticing how it seemed to carry the warmth of the day and the coolness of the evening at once. There was no need to analyze it, no need to find perfect words. It was simply a quiet moment of sharing, of pausing, of letting something beautiful unfold without effort. After a while, the host excused herself, leaving them alone with the soft clink of their glasses and the rustle of the leaves. The air cooled further, but not enough to chill. It only brushed their skin and made them aware of the comfort of sitting close together. They spoke little. There was no need. The vineyard spoke in small sounds, a twig settling, a distant owl calling, a grape leaf fluttering free and drifting to the ground. They listened to these tiny noises as if they were music. Time felt as though it had stepped aside, making space for the evening to linger. Lanterns along the rows of vines flickered on one by one. Their golden light was gentle, never too bright, each flame protected within a glass globe. The lanterns made small pools of warmth in the deepening dusk, guiding the eyes along the lines of the vineyard and up toward the hilltop. After they had rested, the couple rose again and followed a narrow side path, the lanterns leading the way. The path curved around the hill, revealing new perspectives with every few steps. From one bend, they could see the village below, its scattered lights reflecting faintly in a distant lake. From another, they caught the scent of jasmine climbing over an old stone wall, its fragrance sweet and calming. They passed a small building of weathered wood, once used as a tool shed and now transformed into a quiet tasting room. Its door stood open, inviting and warm. Inside, the air carried a faint hint of oak barrels and crushed grapes. The history of many seasons stacked gently in the shadows. They stepped inside together. Candles burned on a long counter, their flames steady and calm. Shelves held bottles with simple labels, each one the color of amber, garnet, or pale straw. It felt less like a shop and more like a library of flavors, each bottle holding a story of rain and sun and patient care. The host returned with a soft smile, inviting them to sit on low stools by a small window. She poured the tiniest measure of a richer wine into fresh glasses, encouraging them to breathe slowly, to notice how the aroma changed as the wine warmed in the glass. They tasted again, but now the flavors were deeper, rounder, like the low notes of a lullaby. Outside the window, darkness was gathering over the hills. The last ribbon of twilight clung to the horizon, and a first star pricked the sky. The couple felt their shoulders dropping lower, their breathing slower. The wine did not make them drowsy, not in a heavy way. Instead, it seemed to soften the edges of their thoughts, allowing them to float more easily in the present moment. When they stepped back out into the evening, the air felt smoother, like cool silk against their skin. Crickets had formed a gentle chorus now, their chirping steady and rhythmic, the perfect background to the soft crunch of gravel underfoot. Above, the sky deepened to a velvety indigo, scattered with more stars. The host guided them higher up the hill toward a quiet lookout point. Here the vineyard opened into a small plateau where a pair of wooden loungers waited, angled slightly toward the sky. A low stone wall framed the edge of the hill, beyond which the land dipped down into the folded shapes of fields and groves and distant water. "Rest here as long as you like," the host said, her voice little more than a whisper now. She set down a lantern on the stone wall and a small tray with cool water, then stepped away, her footsteps fading into the soft rustle of the vines. Elena and Marco lay back on the loungers, their heads cradled, their bodies stretched out. The moment they settled, they felt their muscles loosening, their backs supported, their legs sinking into stillness. Above them, the sky was now a tapestry of stars, an endless, comforting canopy. They watched in quiet amazement as a thin cloud drifted by, its edges glowing in starlight. Somewhere not too far away, a night bird called, its voice low and musical. A faint breeze carried the scent of thyme and lavender, planted along the edge of the terrace, their fragrance rising more strongly at night. Side by side, their fingers found each other and intertwined, not from any need for reassurance, but from a simple appreciation of the moment. Their day, with all its tasks and conversations and screens and rushing, felt distant now, as if it belonged to another world entirely. Up here, there was only the quiet hill, the vineyard, the slow turning of the night sky. They lay there for a long time, saying almost nothing. Occasionally, one would point softly to a star, tracing a shape in the sky that perhaps only they could see. Perhaps a cluster of stars became a grapevine reaching upward. Perhaps another cluster took the shape of two hands or two glasses raised in a toast. Time moved gently without demands. The lantern flame nearby fluttered now and then, but always returned to its calm, steady glow. The sound of the crickets blended with a distant rustle from the vines, like the softest of whispers passing from leaf to leaf. Eventually the host returned, her footsteps light on the path. She carried with her a folded blanket, woven in muted colors, and she placed it at the foot of their loungers. If they wished, she said, they could stay here as long as they liked, even after she returned to the house below. The vineyard was safe and peaceful, watched over by the stars and the gentle slope of the land. They thanked her quietly, their voices hazy with relaxation. When she'd gone again, they unfolded the blanket and spread it over their legs. The fabric was soft and carried a faint scent of sun and linen. Beneath the blanket, their bodies felt even heavier, more content. Far below, the lights of the village dimmed little by little as windows were closed and lamps extinguished. One by one, houses grew dark until only a few scattered glows remained. The lake became a dark mirror, reflecting only the faintest suggestion of stars. Up on the hill, the vineyard settled deeper into night. The vines no longer held the warmth of the day. They stood quietly, leaves barely moving, roots deep in the soil. It was as if the entire hillside had taken a long, slow breath and was now resting, peaceful and still. Elena's eyes drifted closed for a moment, then opened again, heavy but content. She turned her head slightly to look at Marco. His breathing had become slow and steady. His face relaxed. She knew he was close to sleep, floating in that gentle space between waking and dreaming. She let her own eyes close again, this time for longer. Behind her eyelids, she still saw the shapes of the vineyard, the soft glow of lantern light, the deep blue of the sky. The images did not demand anything from her. They simply drifted like clouds across a quiet horizon. In this deepening stillness, the vineyard itself seemed to dream. The old tree by the wooden table, its roots curled around stones, rested after a long day of casting shade. The tiny insects in the grass tucked themselves away in the shelter of stems and petals. The grapes hung without a sound, their sweetness growing slowly in the cool of the night. The hillside remembered other evenings like this, other couples who had walked the same paths, listened to the same crickets, tilted their heads back to gaze at the stars. In some quiet way, Elena and Marco were now part of that gentle, ongoing story, woven into the vineyard's memory like threads of soft color. There was no need for anything more, no grand events, no dramatic twists, just the simple, steady pulse of the land and the sky, holding them in a safe, quiet embrace. As the night grew deeper, a thin silver moon rose, casting a pale glow across the rows of vines. The light slid softly over the leaves, traced the stone wall, and brushed the loungers where the couple rested. It painted a shimmer on the edge of the lake far below, and then climbed higher, content to watch over everything in silence. The air cooled just enough to be refreshing. The blanket grew more comforting, more cocoon-like. The couple's joined hands relaxed, but did not separate. Their breathing fell into the same slow rhythm, in and out, as gentle as the tide of distant water against a faraway shore. Eventually, Elena slipped down into sleep, her last waking thought a soft awareness of gratitude. Gratitude for the quiet, for the open sky, for the warmth of the hand she held, for the peaceful vineyard that had welcomed them without hurry or noise. The vineyard held them while they slept. The vines, the stones, the soil, the old tree, the lantern by the wall, all formed a kind of still, thoughtful circle around them. The hill cradled them like a gentle palm, lifting them closer to the stars. During the night, a breeze passed lightly over the hillside, barely stirring the leaves. It moved through the grass and over the surface of the lake, then drifted away again. The stars turned slowly in their endless patterns, unseen but unfailingly constant. Somewhere, a fox padded silently along the edge of the fields, pausing to sniff the air before continuing on its quiet way. Nothing disturbed the couple. The world respected their rest, stepping lightly around them. And now, as you listen to their story, you too are being woven into this gentle night. You do not have to be on the hillside in person to feel its calm. You can imagine the cool stone beneath your loungers, the soft brush of the blanket against your legs, the weightless dome of stars overhead. Feel how your body, wherever it is, can begin to mirror theirs, your shoulders sinking, muscles loosening, your hands resting, fingers uncurling, your breath moving in and out unhurried, like waves on a very quiet shore. If thoughts arise, let them move through your mind the way a breeze moves through the vines, touching each leaf and then drifting on. You do not have to follow them. You can simply notice that they came and then let them pass, leaving you with a little more stillness each time. Imagine that with every exhale, some tiny tension leaves your body and settles gently into the soil of the vineyard, where it is welcomed and transformed. The land is old and patient. It knows how to hold worry without being troubled by it. Your chest can soften, your belly can relax, your jaw can let go. The night around you grows softer, darker, calmer. You may still sense the lantern by the stone wall, its flame now very small, a tiny golden heart in the blue of the night. It does not need to burn brightly. It only needs to be there, a quiet promise that you are not alone in the darkness. High above, the stars keep their distant watch. They have seen many nights, many vineyards, many small and tender stories like this one. To them, this quiet moment is familiar and precious. They shine gently, not to wake you, but to accompany you as you drift. Your breath continues, slow and easy, in and out, in and out. There is no right way to breathe here. Whatever your body chooses is perfectly enough. You are safe. You are held. Like the couple resting on the hillside, you are allowed to let go. Perhaps you imagine that the vineyard has extended its peacefulness outward, across hills and fields, across towns and roads, reaching all the way to the place where you lie. That same calm, that same night air, that same soft awareness that nothing urgent needs your attention is here with you now. Your thoughts grow quieter. Your body feels heavier, as if it is sinking into a comfortable bed of moss or warm earth, perfectly shaped to support you. Every place where your body meets the surface beneath it is a place of safety, a place where you can release just a little more. The story of the couple continues without needing your attention. They sleep, and the night moves gently around them. You do not need to follow them any farther. You do not need to see the dawn when it comes, the way the first light will brush the tops of the vines, the way the mist will rise from the fields. Those moments will arrive in their own time. For now, there is only this deep, welcoming darkness, this cradle of quiet. Allow your eyelids to grow heavier if they have not already. Let them close when they wish to close. There is nothing more here that needs to be watched with open eyes. The story can go on behind them, in the soft spaces of your mind, becoming part of your dreams if it wishes. Let your breathing be your only task. In and out. Gentle, easy, natural. Each breath a small wave washing over the shore of sleep, smoothing the sand, erasing the footprints of the day. The vineyard is peaceful. The couple is safe. You are peaceful. You are safe. Nothing is missing. Nothing is required. Let yourself drift slowly, sweetly into the soft, quiet spaces beyond words. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.